has recommended the creation of a digital council of the Philippines to regulate content creators and combat misinformation. The proposed body would be composed of content creators, advertisers, the Department of Information and Communications Technology, academe, and public relations practitioners. So that's basically everybody, with all hands on deck, with just 11 days to go before the midterm elections. With us now for more is the co-founder and trustee of the Global AI Council Philippines, a nonprofit supporting government and private sector efforts in AI development in the Philippines, former Trade Undersecretary Anton Mauricio. So good to see you, Anton. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Kathy. Thanks for having me.
All right, so you've just had a phone conversation with Congresswoman Geraldine Roman just hours ago and have discussed the creation of this anti-fake news groups. So what's the latest?
Yes, so the direction of the government is not to create an agency that will be viewed as censorship of media. It is meant to basically prevent abuses via fake news on social media, which affects our lives, from fraud to scams to even politically related matters, such as the coming election. The direction of the government is simply to try to regulate the actors or stakeholders in the ecosystem of social media so that fake news is prevented. So that will require something that is parallel to what the traditional media is already doing, such as the KBP, which is a self-regulatory organization in a way.
Okay, well, let's baseline that for a moment, Anton. What data do you have showing that there's more fake news now with just 11 days to the midterm elections?
The data is not with us; it's with the social media platforms. I'm talking about, Facebook, Meta, which includes Facebook and Instagram, Google. They are the ones with the data, and they were invited, particularly TikTok, ByteDance, and Facebook. Meta had been invited during the last TRICOM congressional hearings. No, and they showed during those hearings that it's not just these elections coming up, but historically the past elections that have had an uptick, meaning it may be combined disorganized and organized effort. But as Global AI Council, we don't have that kind of data. We are just an ecosystem builder.
That's all right. And that's so important, really getting that ecosystem together and getting somebody to just round everybody up. So who are your collaborators in this effort with just 11 days to go?
Yeah, so to continue, the way we are working closely with the government, but the government spearheaded in Congress by Congressman Geraldine Roman and the ICT under Secretary Ati Aguda. We are trying to combat fake news by having a law passed, first requiring social media actors to be registered in the Philippines, whether it's as an entity or an individual. The important thing here is that we will be able to find them should excesses or abuses occur.
I know that you drew something last night, and I really appreciate it because this is the first time the folks are going to see the sort of a process flow that you wanted to present to all the stakeholders of this anti-fake news group. So let's have a look at that. You could understand your handwriting. If you take us through.
Oh my God. Yeah, this is really raw.
It's quite detailed, but I know that we're gonna get to somewhere, and we gotta get this done in 11 days. So take us through it.
So the idea here is to be able to identify the source of the information and where the news is coming from. So it's either real news or fake news. In order for this to work, there has to be a process where we can make the airing actors liable. And that's what we are discussing with government. This will not work if it is just the social media bloggers or vloggers we want to that we're gonna chase. No, it will only work if the major platforms are involved. As mentioned, like Instagram, TikTok, it, it not only those kinds of platforms, but especially the chat groups, Kathy.
Yeah.
The most popular chat group by far in the Philippines is Facebook Messenger, followed by Viber, and then the others followed. So what a lot of fake news actually spreads by putting it on the chat group, linking it to the platforms like Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. So what we want to do is to be able to identify any organized effort to spread disinformation or misinformation. So to clarify, uh, our role as the Global AI Council Philippines is to have technologies present in this ecosystem that will prevent the spread, hopefully in seconds, Kathy.
Right.
Just as a preventive measure, while we investigate if there is any truth to this allegation of fake news, because we cannot wait for weeks or even months. By the time the damage has already been done,
That's true. And we got 11 days to go, and that process flow, I'm sure you will refine together with all the stakeholders involved. All the best, and I hope to get back and speak to you again during the elections. Anton, thank you so much for joining us.